Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our next edition of Tiger Eye Talk. Our guest is hopefully joining in a few moments. Um, Here she comes now. Awesome, awesome.
Hi.
Hey, Miss Carla, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
I'm great. This is Carla Cherry, my guest today, and she is going to enlighten us on a lot of good stuff because she does a lot of good things. I'm going to introduce her a little bit and then let her introduce herself further and kind of start telling you a little bit about what it is that she does. So happy to have you here, Carla.
Thank you. So happy to be here. Thanks for asking me.
Business owners, are you tired of struggling to convey your value? Join the pitch party where Carla Cherry, former producer of Larry King, will transform your pitch on the spot. She's done this for me in the past, guys. This is really, really cool. Carla Cherry shares her 5-step playbook, how to turn your networking meeting and AMP speaking engagements into booked calls without being salesy or pushy. And it's awesome. Really, really awesome. I've experienced this with her. It's really great. Former Larry King producer Carla Cherry has created, marketing content for MTV, Yahoo Studios, Comedy Central, and so much more because her list goes on and on. She's really great at what she does. She's garnered sponsorships from Volkswagen for a hit period drama, Versailles. I think I'm saying that. Yes. Tripled the online company engagement with Inside Versailles showrunner and hit 2.4 million views. She teaches and coaches how to hit consistent 10K plus months with her signature programs, Power Offer Consult and AMP, Power Pack to Profit, a gamified 90-day accelerator cohort. Oh my goodness. This is amazing. Carla, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you tell us a little bit more about these programs that I just mentioned.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me, Lisa. I really appreciate it. I love being here. I love being around your energy. It's such good energy. And I know that your audience has the same. So, I put together Power Pack to Profit after noticing that a lot of business owners were struggling, and they were struggling in a silo, and they all had the same. Whenever I'm really big on research, and whenever I reached out and did the research, I found out that a lot of people would say the same thing. I have a hard time conveying my value, and I need more sales. And so what I found was when you lift up the hood, right? And I checked out their offer. What is their offer? What are you offering? What are you offering in exchange for money, for currency? And a lot of times they weren't really confident about their offer, right? It hadn't really been flushed out. And they were also, I have a saying, what happens in vagueness stays in vagueness. So they were sitting in vagueness about, okay, I put together this offer. I've done this thing, for many, many times for friends and family, and I'm really going to launch this business. And then they put together an offer and then kind of hoped and wished and that this is what their person wants. This is what their target client, I call it target client. This is what your target client wants. And so I really help take the guesswork out of that. And let's delve into the research and figure out, okay, what do they actually want? How do they want it? What is their biggest problem, right? Instead of reading like a resume, let's go after solving their biggest problem. Like if you talk to anybody in the world, and they have a big problem, they're actively seeking someone to solve it. That is the person that's going to pay you faster and more and be so super excited to work with you. So how can you reverse engineer what you're doing right now and figure out how to package that up? And so that is what I help my clients do, how to package you up, how to put the offer together. And a lot of times it's your existing skill set. A lot of people came from corporate. How do I transfer those skills? How do I package myself up? And that becomes how you convey your value, solving a big problem and being the person to do it, right? So you have to present in that way. And that is on all fronts of what you're presenting. And so if you can do that, and now you've got people lined up to pay you as a consultant or as a coach. And so Power Pack to Profit, we're doing that in a 90-day accelerator. with weekly challenges, because I also found that myself as a purchaser and of courses, I would go, get into a course, see the promise that it had, and then I would get in there and then I would feel by myself, right? I would feel alone. Okay, here's 80 hours of videos to watch. And then, you're all of a sudden your excitement kind of subsides. And so I figured out, all right, well, what if we actually did this together? What if we did it in teams? And what if we gamified it? So that is what I did with Power Pack to Profit. And I'm telling you, it's totally changed the game. There's a big difference between I have an accountability partner I sometimes check in with versus I'm on a team and we're counting points and we are competing. And if I don't do my thing, it's going to affect my team. We kind of tapped into that competitive and that group psychology of it. So that's a little snapshot of what we're up to.
Nice. I love that. And the gamifying, oh my goodness. Yes, that can reach so much more people because that kind of resonates with them, right?
100%. And it gets you to get the stuff done. I call it gamifying the drudgery. There's a lot of stuff in business in the beginning that's just not fun, right? And also there's so many choices. You can get analysis paralysis because you're looking at, oh my gosh, all these people are coming at me with, you need to have a this and you need to have a that. Well, what do you actually need? So we really chunk it down to like, okay, these are the actual things you actually need to get a boost, to get it going. And so, so that's what we're doing.
That is amazing, amazing, amazing. How long have you been in business? Share with our listeners, how long you have been doing this type of work.
So I started my first business in my 20s. I found out quite quickly as a mom I was a mom at 25 and I was like, I want to be home with my kiddo. And then I realized, okay, that's not going to cut it like working for somebody else. A, I'm never going to see her. And B, I'm not going to make enough money. I had 3 jobs at one point. I would like take a break. I was losing family members. I was like, this is crazy. Like, I know. So I started my own business in my 20s. It was a video production company and I did weddings and I did that for, I think 6-7 years. And I built up a business. I was quite fortunate to have a mentor who flew down from New York. She was a friend of mine. She ran a multi-million-dollar business herself, very, very successful. And I wasn't seeking a mentor out. This was like 2002. I wasn't seeking a mentor out, but she said, I'm going to help you. And I said, please, please, thank you. And she was like, this is how you run a business. You want to get to the point where you're hiring people, take your desk out of your bedroom, this stuff. And I learned in that first business how to run a business, and all the same things apply to the business I have now. So I ran it pretty successfully to the point where I decided, okay, now it's time to go to LA. I have a film and television degree. I want to go use it. So I ran it from LA. I ran the North Carolina business from LA for almost 2 years without even having to go back. That's how, because I had a steady stream of referrals and I had my systems down and I had people shooting for me as well as editing. So, I really learned the lesson early on to build out a good team and to build your systems. And so, and then I wanted to use my degree because that's what I got my degree in. So I worked in film and television for 14 years and I got to do some really pretty awesome stuff. And had, lots of ups and downs and highs and lows like any other business. But, I guess the pinnacle was, my absolute favorite job was working for Larry King. That was just the top of the top. And then I got to do, as you mentioned in the intro, I worked for a lot of different companies. I started as an editor and I really didn't want to, but that was the skill I had. And so that got me through the door. And then I added writing and then I added producing to it. And then I got to direct and then I got to get rid of the editing altogether. But that was a big lesson for me. Start with what you know, start with what you have and play full out with that and then add to it. And so then around 2017, I had a friend that was just killing it online. And it was a funny story. She worked for me in North Carolina. And then when I moved to LA, I worked for her at the California Endowment. She became my boss.
Awesome.
And so she left the industry and started this online business and was absolutely killing it. And I was like, what is she doing over here? What is happening? and she's flying all around. She had a very successful podcast and blog and coaching business. And I looked into that and I was like, I want to do that because I want my time. I want to be an entrepreneur again. I want to be able to travel. I don't want to have this, like, you get 2 weeks a year for a vacation mess. You're sitting in this freezing hall and, punching a clock. Like in between the big jobs, like you have to take the in-between jobs. And I just was like, this is done. I'm done. So this business iteration started 2017. And I've been helping coaches and consultants ever since. I mean, I've absolutely fallen in love. I say I went from producing shows to producing consultants and coaches. And it's a production. It's really a production to get you up to the next level. And then you get to that level and then you go to the next level, right? So there are a lot of different things to do to climb the levels. And it becomes really, really fun to be able to help people really sustain their business, because when they can sustain their business, they can sustain their freedom in time and money. And then also things change with their families. And that's one of my favorite things to observe and watch and be part of. So it's pretty cool. It's the gratitude that I get from helping my clients is so much higher than anything I got from the industry. I mean, we had raving fans for certain shows, but like the gratitude is, to me, it's like it runs deeper.
Awesome. What is the number one takeaway that some of your clients have after working with you?
Oh, wow. I think there's a bunch. I hope there's a bunch. If I had to whittle it down, okay, I'll give you a couple. One is just do it. I mean, I know that's Nike, but just jump into the arena. Like, there is no perfect time for anything. The perfect time is when you decide it's time. All right. And so number one, just get into the arena. Be okay with it being messy. Be okay with making mistakes. Be okay with failing. And if you look at it, change your perspective and take the word failure out and look at it just as feedback. Okay, what feedback did I get from this experience and how can I apply it to make it better next time? Period. So just jump in. I mean, one of the things that we do in Power Pack is we post every single day. People come in, I don't know what to post. I don't know how to post. Just post, right? Just post pick one platform, just post every day. And what's beautiful is your program comes through you through the writing.
Yes.
Because if you have to write about something every day, you're actually birthing it through the writing. And so that's why I say just jump in and just do it. So that's number one. Number two is consistency. So the magic is in the consistency. If you do short spurts of concerted effort every single day towards anything, towards working out, towards your business, that's how it grows. But consistency is the key. So I would say those are definitely two takeaways from the program, for sure.
Now, you also coach them on the content?
Yeah, I do. I coach them on the content, but we don't get too carried away. You don't need these big spreadsheets and, like color coded asanas. I mean, literally it's just about, we talk about the different phases of your business. Like, you can't come out and say, buy my thing, like on the first day. So you have to go through the phases of it, to make people aware and then to engage them. And then you try to convert clients. But the first step is really to show up consistently. People don't realize how many people are actually watching. Like, people are watching, they're paying attention. They may not be the commenters. They may not be the engagers on your content, but you are putting out to the universe, A, to yourself that you're doing this, and B, to the universe. And so it's just about staying consistent. I would say, and then the third thing too that we work heavily on in the program are the goals. And so you have to look at your goals every day. You have to. If you're not looking, first of all, if you don't write them down, second of all, if you're not looking at them, they're never going to happen. Or maybe they'll happen, but not as big and not as quickly. So we're very consistent about looking at our goals and facing them and creating them, like manifesting them.
Nice. What's the time frame if someone starts working with you of going through your coaching program?
So in that particular, I have more than one, but in that particular one, it's 90 days. So it's a 90-day accelerator, and we're really big on showing up differently and doing it differently for yourself versus how you've done it before. And one of the things that we do is we get up early. You know, we show up every morning at 7:45 a.m. And if you're on the East Coast, it's 4:45, and we have people waking up to be there at 4:45. Believe it or not.
Wow, that's awesome. Oh my goodness. That is really early.
It's very early, and so it's not for the faint of heart. It's really for that particular program is for people that are driven and energetically aligned. They have to be, you know, cool people because we're all very working very closely together. But that program is for people that are like, okay, I'm ready to make moves. Like I'm ready. I don't want to be stagnant anymore. I've got to make this. This thing has to happen. Let's go.
So this is your number one program currently?
That is one program that I have. I have another program that I am helping people that have come from corporate and want to sell and offer back to corporate.
Awesome.
Yeah. So for people that are interested in doing that, I have a separate program, and that program is it's for people that are going a little bit faster and are used to the corporate world and want to, like I said, want to sell back to corporate. They pretty much came out of the corporate world. They're super smart. They're very talented and have created extreme, like amazing results in corporate. And they now are realizing how challenging consultancy is. They've never had to sell. And so they're like a fish out of water when it comes to selling themselves and packaging themselves up. Same exact problem that we're having in the first cohort. I mean, it's never easy to brag about yourself, and it's challenging just to do that. Even if you're a writer, even if you're super, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you are. It's very challenging to package up yourself and say, "This is me, and this is how I can do it." And so, so yeah, we're having a lot of fun. I helped a lot of one-to-one clients land big corporate gigs and consultancy gigs, right? So these are people that don't want to have a full-time job anymore, but they want to make the same amount of money that they were making in corporate.
Right. So what's something that some people may misunderstand about what it is that you do and help your clients with?
What is something that they might misunderstand? I think, yeah, I think that, let's say for people that are coming, like I said, people are new to consultancy, right? And so they think, you know, I think the old way is I'm going to pay a marketing person and they're going to put me out there and it's going to be great. And I think a lot of people make that mistake and they waste a lot of money doing that. They also go to ads too soon, paid advertising or paid leads too soon, right, without really doing the organic work. And so I think that's a big misunderstanding just in general in the field is you really have to get in there and get your hands dirty and get into the arena and work the organic avenues before you have the messaging perfected, right? Before you have the pain points perfected. So I think that's a big mistake. So for me, I'm really big on the research, and I have my program, my signature method that I teach people on how to do this. And it's not researching what you do. You're the pro at that. It's researching how to package you up and how to find that person, right? Like,
right.
It's almost like matchmaking. It's like a little bit of what I do. It's like, okay, we have to find the perfect person that wants you. And we need to get you ready to meet that person, right? So otherwise, you're just kind of out there going, hey, I can do this. Hey, I can do that. And a lot of consultants and coaches fall down that rut for many years where they're just doing things because they can, right? But A, they're not making the amount of money they could be making. And B, they're going to get burned out because if you're reinventing your offer for every person that comes along, how exhausting, right?
It's very.
So, yeah. So for me, it's like, okay, but you want to get your hands dirty a little bit, get in there in the arena, because you've got to figure it out. Like, and I take through people through a process, so it's a very short and figure it out. But without that, you're just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall and wasting time. And so, I would caution anybody that's coming straight out of corporate or starting a coaching or consulting program from scratch. Don't throw money at a $10,000 website yet. Don't throw money at people doing Google ads or Facebook ads quite yet, until you have really nailed down what it is you do and who you do it for, and have the perfect offer for that very specific person.
Awesome. Awesome. So, what is the most important lesson that you have learned throughout your career?
Goodness. I feel like every week is a lesson.
True.
Oh my God, it's not, I tell everybody, like, it's problem solving daily, and it's lessons. Life is just all lessons. But okay, let me see if I can pick out a couple for business. Um, really important lessons. Well, let's talk about sales. I would say for sales, you know, a lot of people have a perception of it. First of all, it's like, oh my gosh, it's a dirty word, or I hate sales, or I don't like to do sales, or I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to, all these things that people say.
Well, they don't like
and what's that?
They don't like that word at all.
They don't like the word. And it's really interesting, because if you break it down, business happens through people.
Yes.
And it happens when you sell them something and they give you money for it. I mean, that is what business is.
Yes, it is.
So what's interesting is, you don't have to fall in love with sales, but what I would, three things. I would say number one is make your offer so good that you can't wait to share it. So do the pre-work. How can you make it better? How can you make your offer just undeniable and the absolute choice for your person that needs you, right? And then you'll be more excited to share it. Number two, work on your pitch, because if you don't have the right words and you're stumbling over the words, that's a problem. So, spend some time on your pitch and get it down to so that it sounds good and it feels good and it rolls off your tongue. And so those are two ways that you can get way more confident about selling, right? And then third, I would say is reps. It's just like the gym. So the only way you're going to get better the only way you're going to get bigger muscles is by continuously going to the gym, right? And that's the same thing with selling. And so it's really fun for me inside my program, because it's gamified, and one of the actions everyone has to take is direct messaging people. And at first they hate it. Some of them hate it. Not everybody, but some of them are like, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. And what do I say? And there's always a moment, and this is one of my favorite moments in the program, when someone switches over from, I'm messaging a ton of people all the time. It's no big deal. And I'm like, okay, can we just take a moment and celebrate that? Because do you remember you at the beginning of this program? And they're like, oh my God, that's so true. Because it's just having conversations, right? So whether having a conversation at a barbecue, a cocktail party, at the beach, in a restaurant line, in the direct messages of LinkedIn, in the direct messages of Facebook, in a networking meeting, it's literally just a conversation. And so it's about getting better at explaining what it is you do, getting more confident about your offer, right? And then sharing it more often with people that need you. And so, I would say, if we put a label on something like, oh, sales is bad or sales is hard, that's just kind of a cop out. It's like, no, it's about stepping up your training around it, right? And I'm constantly like, when I started the new offer with the corporate offer, I had to start from scratch. I've been doing this for a long time, but every time you have a new offer, you're talking to a new person, and
Yep.
you have to get to know that person, right? And so I had to go myself, I had to go through the uncomfortability of that. And then until I'm like, okay, now I got it. Now I'm getting better. But so yeah, I would say the biggest lesson is um, around sales is just to change your perspective around it, and then also to give yourself some grace, because if you have to do something that you never had to do before and you were super amazing at what you did in corporate, and now you're still good at it, you're still amazing at it, you just have to package it up for the right person and sell it. Just give yourself some grace when you're in that learning period.
Yes, very important. Very important. So, how can people reach you if they would like to contact you and learn more about your programs?
Yeah, absolutely. So I am on LinkedIn. That's where I talk to a lot of people. That is the best way. And then also you can email me at team at carlacherry.co. And I'm happy to have a conversation. We are taking people through the summer through both programs. And so it's super, super exciting if you're a newer coach or consultant and you want to get out of the silo and you want to do it with a team and you want to hit big results. I've helped people hit, $6,000 contracts first week, $120,000 contracts, first time offer, first time pitch. If you want to go big, you're ready to kind of really just get this thing going, right? Definitely reach out to me and we'll see which one you're the best fit for. And then what's exciting on the corporate side, the corporate offer side, is we're adding an element of lead gen too, which is
Wow.
yeah. And so yeah, and it's amazing. So it's for people that are ready to like take it to like turn up the gas and get leads in your inbox after you do the market research, and we're having extremely good results with it. So yeah, it's a super exciting time, and
Yes.
I appreciate the opportunity to share.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I can't advise everyone listening enough to reach out to Carla. I promise you will get results. No matter what questions you have for her, if you just want her to help you with your pitch, or if you're interested in one of her programs, I promise you will see results. No matter which way you work with Carla, she's very, very good at what she does.
Thank you. I really appreciate
Thank
that.
you so much, Carla, for being here with us today and sharing about what it is you do and how you help your clients reach their awesome goals and their money goals, all the things. So,
Thank
again,
you.
reach out to Carla if you're interested in anything that you have heard here today or have any questions about anything you heard her share today. You can either post it in the comments below this video or reach out to me or Carla, either one. I can get you in touch with her for sure. Again, thank you so much, Carla, for being here with us today, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you, Lisa. I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
everyone, for joining.
Bye. Thank